I'm Karen Andrews, and I'm out here doing some plein air painting. This is actually what I want to do all summer. It's actually very challenging. I'm used to mostly painting from photographs that I've taken, so dealing with reality is like a whole other thing. So what I've done is I've sketched out just a little scene across the river. I know that I'm going to keep this dark, and everything that's shaded is going to be dark. But I was mostly struck by just the big shapes. So my sketch is very simplified. I'm kind of including big shapes and just a few colors. And after this sketch, I'll be putting it on a piece of watercolor paper and hopefully doing something similar. So this is my practice run. It's not, it's not the best paper for painting, but it's good for doing a very quick sketch just to grab the whole scene. I am a watercolorist. That's the only medium I'm using here. I sometimes use some other non-toxic media, but I'm actually became allergic to chemicals, I think, from doing too much darkroom work. So watercolor doesn't bother me. And these are pretty high-end paints, usually Holbein, which is a kind of watercolor that's mixed with honey. So it actually stays very fluid and shiny. And so I'm very conscious of the thickness of the paint that I use, and just kind of working in a coherent way. Like I put in all the light marks where the sun is, which is a good thing I did that because the sun has just changed and now I can't see them anymore, so I have to remember what I saw, what made the scene so striking. And then this area down below where under the bridge is going to be very dark, and try to highlight all the little light parts. So I saw the shadow of the tree, the lights on the leaves, and this building was very lit up. Yeah, so right now I'm just painting the under part of the bridge. I like the idea of there being a mixture of colors in there, so I'm going to blend different colors, which will mix on the paper. Don't care too much what color it is at this point. I just kind of want it dark, and as you can see, it's a whole blend of various colors there, just to get the feel of it. And then the fence up there is a little grayer, but it's also a dark. And so I'm going to put that, it's a little bit lighter. Some of the undersides are dark, so I'm just going to do a few little highlights, areas of dark. And with watercolor, I don't want to be super precise. Some people do kind of a photorealism with watercolor, and what I like is all the blending, especially when it blends on the paper. It does some really magical, unexpected things, hopefully good things. And so what I really want to see is like the contrast. That building in the background is really white, and so I want to really emphasize how dark it is around it. So again, not being too picky about the exact color right now, just I want it dark and just to highlight the things that are around it. So you see as I cut in around the building, it's going to really stand out very starkly. And in the final painting, I can fix the colors. But right now I'm just trying to get what they call a value study, where you just get the darks and the lights as you see them. Painting outside is one of the more challenging things, but I think it actually is one of the best things to do as an artist, because you're seeing three-dimensional space. It's fresher, it's more alive, and that will translate when you see the painting. It will just look more alive. You can't really fuss as much when you're outside, and sometimes with a photograph you don't get that sense of space and light. So I think it's one of the best ways to really learn how to paint, although it's very challenging. There's all this equipment. It's taken me years to get the right easel. I still need a proper holder for the water, but I'm hoping to do a lot of this in the next few months while the weather's good. And I don't know what my goal is, really just to paint, pictures that really express what I see. But they may be very different from what the scene looks like. So I'm also kind of photoshopping in my mind, like removing buildings and getting rid of trees. You don't have to, I guess the main thing is simplifying. You don't have to paint everything you see. you would go completely nuts if you did that. So as I get more mature in my painting, I just keep simplifying and realizing I can say a lot with very little. So I think this is pretty good for a sketch. I feel pretty satisfied with it, and I think I'm ready to start the real painting. So I have a little gallery about 1 mile north of town. It's called the Inner Vision Studio, and I sell my work right out of the gallery. It's a place you can call for an appointment, and it's innervision-studio.com. I'm open by appointment pretty much any time. And I have a whole array. I've been doing watercolor for about 20 years and photography for about 20 years before that.